To save time for different topics within evaluating logarithms, this video is indexed to the following times, so you can skip forward to the part you need. When we're evaluating a logarithm, it takes this form, which is log to base 2 of 8, and it's asking what power would I have to raise 2 up to get an 8? And 2 to the third power is an 8, so the answer to this one is a 3. For the next one, it's asking 3 raised to what power would give you 27, and 3 to the third power, 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. Here again, log 5 is being raised to the third power in order to give you 125. 5 times 5 is 25, times another 5 is 125, so this is a 3. This next one is a special case. Anything raised to the 0 power is 1. So 8 to the 0 power would be 1. Let's review a learning point before we go on to logarithms that involve fractions and numbers smaller than the base. So here I have 2 to the third power, and we're going to look at what happens as I reduce the power to 0 and then on to negative numbers. 2 to the third power is 8. 2 squared is 4. 2 to the first power is 2. Anything to the 0 power is 1. And then for 2 to the minus 1, that's the same as 1 over x would equal x to the minus 1 power. So it's just going to become 1 over. So I have 1 over, and this is 2 to the first power, which is 2. And then here I have 1 over, and this is 2 to the second power, which is 4. So I have 1/4. And then this final one, 2 to the third power is 8. So since it's negative, it would be 1 over 8. So using what we've just learned, log to base 2 of 1/8, this is going to be a negative exponent, and 2 to the minus third power would give me 1/8. Thinking about this a different way, this is the same as 1 over 2 to the third power, which is 1 over 8. For the next one, log base 3 of 1 over 27, it's going to be a negative exponent. And then in order to get the 27 is 3 to the third power, so I would have again a 3. So 3 to the minus third power is 1 over 27. Moving a little faster, this is going to be negative. And in order to get a 4, that's 4 to the third power, I again have minus 3. This was completely unplanned. Log to base 3 of 1/9. It's going to be negative because it's a fraction, and the bottom is 3 squared, so this is minus 2. And then finally, this last one, 5 squared gives me 25, so this is minus 2. So 5 to the minus 2 is 1 over 25. The next area to cover is when we are asked to find a log of a number and there's no base given. When there's no base given, then it's understood that this is a 10. So it's asking 10 to what power is 1,000? And the trick is the number of zeros is going to be the exponent. So this is going to be 10 to the third power. This one is going to be 10 to the second power, and then 10 to the first power. And then something happens here. This is 1 over, so this becomes minus 1. So 10 to the minus 1 power is 1 over 10. And then this one is negative, and it's 1 over 10 squared, which is minus 2 power. This next section should pose a little bit of a problem if you've been following along. Obviously, we want to know what exponent we would raise 9 to get a 3. Do you see the problem yet? Well, 9 to the 0 power is a 1. 9 to the first power is 9, and 9 to the second power is 81. We've skipped over the 3. So how do we get the 9 to be smaller for the answer, raising it to a power? And the answer to that is that this is going to have to be a fractional power. And there's a trick to evaluating them. Fortunately, it's actually really simple. What would the log to base 3 of 9 be? Well, you would raise the 3 to the second power. Well, that's again going to be the case here. It's going to involve a 2, but it's going to be the 1/2 power. If I took the square root of 9, well, the index is a 2. This is a square root, and this is a 1. So this, when I take the square root of 9 and get a 3, this is the same as 9 This number is the top number for your fractional exponent, and this is the bottom number. The index is the bottom. So this is 9 to the 1/2 power. That's where it comes from. Same on the next one. I have log to base 25 is 5. Well, I reverse them. 5 to what power would give me a 25? And that answer, once again, this is going to be the 1/2 power because the square root of 25, we have a 1 inside and the index is a 2. So that's 25 to the 1/2 power is the square root of 25. And then here, what would I raise 2 up to get a 64? Well, I know I'm going to have a fraction, so 2 to the 6th power is 64. So this is 1 over 6. And if you would actually calculate that, this would be 64 inside with a 1 here and a 6 here. And for our final one, what would you raise the 5 to get a 125? The answer is a 3, so this is 1/3. To teach the topic, which involves line 3 and line 6 here, I want to review these two here to show how this follows from the thinking. So for this here, log base 4 of 16, well, 4 squared is 16, so the answer is 2. Then over here, we knew that when we reverse them, then it was the same as taking the square root, which was the 1/2 power for this one. So we had a fractional answer. When this one's smaller than this one, I reverse them. 4 squared, I put it in the bottom, would give me 16. And then this next one, in order to get a fractional answer when I find the exponent for 16 that would give us 1/4, what I'm going to do is look at this answer over here, and these are inverses of each other. And in exponents, when we do an inverse, it becomes negative. So it quite simply is minus 1/2. Think about this next one here. 3 to the 3rd power is 27, so this one's 3. When they're reversed, 3 to the 3rd power gives us 27, but in this case, it's 1 over 3. And then if this is the inverse, well, in exponents to get a reciprocal, you have a minus, and it's the same answer, 1/3. Let's try a couple of those in a row. So for these three, we're just going to review from what we just learned. The more you practice it, the better you'll be. So when I'm doing log to base 625 of 1/5, this is fractional, so I know the answer is negative. And then I ask, what do I raise 5 to get 625? And that answer is a 4. So the 4 is going to go under here, and it's going to be minus 1 over 4. Next one, it's fractional, so I know it's negative. And then what do I raise the 7 to get a 49? The answer is a 2, and the numerator will be a 1. And then finally, what do I raise 5 to get a 25? That answer is 2, so this is going to be 1/2, and since it's fractional, it will be negative. So let's just do a quick review here. So in the first one, it's straightforward. It's asking the log to base 4 of 64 is 4 to what power is 64, and the answer is 3. When this is the reciprocal of here, I'm still finding 4 to what power is 64, but in this case, it's going to be a negative exponent. So 4 to the 3rd power is 64. This is minus 3. And what it means is 1 over 4 to the 3rd power, which is the same as 4 to the minus 3 power. And the next one, we see that these are reversed, which just makes it a fractional exponent. So I'm going to have 1 over, and I reverse these. What would I raise 4 to get a 64? The answer is 3. So this one would be the 1/3 power. And then finally, this is the reciprocal of this. If I had log base 64 of 1/4, that's going to be the same as here. Just as I went negative for here, this becomes the minus 1/3 power. Using the TI84 to evaluate logarithms is really straightforward. What I want to do is on the TI84, first push clear, make sure there's nothing on there. And the first one we'll do is log of 100. So first we push the log button, which is right here. And then it is assuming automatically, notice it doesn't say a base there, it's automatically base 10. And then we enter 100 and close parentheses and push enter. And 10 squared is 100. So this one over here is 2. Let's say that I have a base other than 10. So on the calculator, what you would do is you push clear, make sure there's nothing in there, and instead of log, come to the math button. When you click that, click down on the arrow button until you get to log base. And it's the 11th one. You don't want to keep doing that, so I'm going to redo it and I'll show you a faster way. Push clear, push the math button, and instead of going down, go up 3. And the third click would put you at log base, and then push enter. And at first it's asking you what the base is, and that's a 2. And I move over, right arrow, and on here we're doing 16, so I'm going to enter 16 on the calculator. And it already has the parentheses there. So if you just push enter, is 4 because 2 to the 4th power is 16.